Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into a fascinating analysis looking at Deuteronomy 23, specifically verses 19 through 25.
That's right.
And our mission really is to see how this ancient text might, reshape how we think about freedom and responsibility today.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between liberty, personal freedom, and what we owe each other, our obligations. It's amazing how relevant these old principles still feel.
So let's dive right in. The text, it seems, immediately pushes back against our usual modern idea of freedom. It separates genuine freedom from something the commentary calls license.
Yeah, license. That idea that freedom just means, doing whatever you feel like, consequence-free.
Right. No thought for others.
And what's really profound, the analysis suggests this isn't just about rules. It comes from something deeper. It's described as a kind of inner brokenness.
Inner brokenness.
Like a restlessness, a kind of spiritual thirst that makes us chase, fleeting things instead of real satisfaction. We end up sort of enslaved to our own desires.
Instead of embracing the responsibilities that come with, actual freedom.
Precisely.
Okay, so how does this play out in the specific laws mentioned? Let's look at the first one. Deuteronomy 23.1920, community care. It talks about lending.
Yes. The interest rate.
Right. Don't charge interest to a brother, another Israelite.
Yeah.
But it's okay for foreigners. That sounds a bit jarring today, doesn't it?
It can, yeah. But the commentary frames it as relationship-based responsibility within their specific community, their covenant group.
Okay.
The idea wasn't about judging foreigners, but about building up their own community from within. Freedom, in that context, meant you didn't use your financial power to exploit someone else's hardship, especially a neighbor.
So your freedom shouldn't oppress another person within that shared group? It's about mutual support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lifting each other up. It's about the health of the community fabric itself.
That makes a lot more sense contextually. Okay, moving on from community interaction to personal integrity. Verses 21-23, the weight of your word. Making a vow to God is voluntary, totally your choice. But once you make it, you absolutely have to keep it.
Right. And how does that relate to freedom? It seems counterintuitive, maybe.
Yeah, how?
Well, the argument is that real freedom includes consistency, accountability. Unlike license, which is just fickle, changing with the wind. True liberty shows itself in being reliable, truthful. Keeping your word, especially a voluntary promise, shows you're free enough to actually govern yourself.
Free from just impulses, maybe. You can hold yourself to something.
That's a good way to put it. It demonstrates self-mastery, which is a core part of genuine freedom. It builds trust, too, which is vital.
Okay, that's powerful. And then the last example, verses 24 and 25, balancing need and greed. This one's quite specific.
It really is. Peculiar, as the commentary notes.
You can walk into your neighbor's vineyard or field and eat grapes or grain right there, eat your fill, but
You can't carry any away in a container, and you certainly can't bring a sickle to harvest their grain.
So what's the principle there?
It's about temperance, really. Self-control again. It recognizes immediate, basic human need. You're hungry, you're passing by, you can eat. That's freedom to meet a need.
Okay.
But the moment you bring a tool, like a sickle or a basket, you've shifted from meeting your own immediate need to potentially exploiting your neighbor's resources or, taking more than is fair. It's abusing hospitality.
So the line is between personal necessity, picked by hand,
Yeah.
and potential exploitation or accumulation.
Precisely that. It's a fascinatingly fine line, illustrating self-control right there in the field.
So across all these examples, community lending, keeping vows, how you eat from a neighbor's field, the underlying theme seems to be, self-control within freedom.
I think that captures it perfectly. The conclusion drawn is that true freedom is a life of self-control, taking responsibility for how you use that freedom.
And it's not just a restriction, it's actually presented as the path to blessing in all you do.
Yes, though it also acknowledges, very realistically, that this is a constant human struggle. We don't always manage it.
That feels very true to life. So for you listening to this deep dive, maybe the question is, what kind of freedom are you actually living? Is it the kind that considers your neighbor, honors your commitments, builds trust? Or is it more about just serving your own immediate desires, that sort of license?
It's a challenging question.
It is. And maybe how can you apply this ancient principle of self-control, not as a burden, but maybe as a way to make your freedom, more beautiful and positive force in the world today? Something to think about.